Test, 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 test.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. We are ready to proceed. It is 10:33 a.m. Reminder, if you have anything you want us to review, it goes to the Sergeant at Arms, Mr. Curran. And otherwise, mute your phones, or at least put them on buzz. And we'll have an invocation by Commissioner Harrison, the pledge by Commissioner Freeling. You're welcome to join us.
Please join with me. We gather together here today intent on doing good work. We seek to represent fairly and well those who have given us this task. Please allow us the wisdom to govern amid the conflicting interests and issues of our times. Please give us a sense of the welfare and true needs of our people, a keen thirst for justice and righteousness, confidence in what is good and fitting, the ability to work together in harmony even when there is honest disagreement. And please also give us personal peace in our lives and joy in our tasks. And also remember those of us who have passed from either COVID or lost in service in our military service. And also please give us the patience to listen to others. Amen.
Amen. Please join with me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Amen.
Madam Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Bell.
Here.
Curran.
Here.
Freeling.
Present.
Harrison.
Here.
Hinkleman.
Here.
Majerick.
Here.
Meeks.
Here.
Scott.
Here.
Ballrath.
Here.
Werfel.
Here.
Yarborough.
Present.
Elliott.
Here.
Mr. Chair, you have 12 present.
Thank you. Minutes from 2 weeks ago. I've been out there for a while. Haven't heard about any changes. Assuming there are no changes needed, a motion to approve the minutes is in order. Moved by Volrath. Supported by Scott. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Minutes are approved. Madam Clerk, have we communications?
Yes, we do. You received a resolution from Oceana County Board of Commissioners to make changes to the Open Meetings Act to exempt counties with population of 75,000 or less to be exempt from the portions of the Open Meetings Act that restricts a member of public body from attending, participating in public meeting virtually as long as physical quorum of the public body is attendance. Received on November 5th. Dickinson County Board of Commissioners, a resolution supporting the American Rescue Plan State Match Program, received on November 5th. Jackson County Board of Commissioners, a resolution opposing mandatory vaccinations and mandatory wearing of masks and other face coverings, vaccination passports, and mandatory COVID testing support citizens' right to self-determination and parental rights to decide what is best for the children, received on November 5th. Marquette County Board of Commissioners, a resolution supporting the American Rescue Plan State Match Grant, received on November 5th. Menominee County Board of Commissioners, a resolution supporting the American Rescue Plan, received on November 12th. An email communication from Clara Juggerman, Berrien County 4-H Program Coordinator, sending the Berrien County Spotlight 4-H Family News, November 2021, issue received on November 15th. That's all.
Thank you. Public comments limited to resolutions at this point. All right, hearing none, the consent calendar is up for consideration. Haven't heard about pulling anything. So if someone wants something pulled, now'd be the time to speak up. If not, then we'll have a motion to approve the consent calendar.
Do you want to include the added resolution?
I was gonna say that. I was gonna make the motion. Yeah.
Yes, ending in 367. So is there a motion to approve it with 367?
I'll make that motion.
Moved by Scott. Is there support? Supported by Harrison. Any discussion? Hearing none, will the clerk please call the roll?
Curran.
Yes.
Freely.
Yes.
Harrison.
Yes.
Hinkleman.
Yes.
Majerick.
Yes.
Meeks.
Yes.
Scott.
Yes.
Ballraff.
Yes.
Werfel.
Yes.
Yarborough.
Yes.
Bell.
Yes.
Elliott.
Yes,
Mr. Chair, you have 12 yeas.
thank you. Committee reports, says admin here first. So, Jim?
Okay, thank you, Mac. We had Tiffany Peterson, Director at the Animal Control, in to see us this morning. She did not have a prepared report, but stated that her numbers are running about normal, which means she's busy. Her facility is full. She talked about the resolution that we approved already, $5,000 for a spay and neuter program from the, I can't think of it. It's a nonprofit that gave her the money. 270 Incorporated. She talked about her road officers, that she's down to 3 full-time, where normally she has 4 full-time and 2 part-time. So they're making the best they can in that regard. Then we had Chris Cook and Kevin Stack from the road department, who gave us a very nice report that we can make available if you want to see it. I'll just hit the high points in here. Looking back in the year in review, as far as primary roads go, they took care of 42 miles of primary roads, 76 miles of local roads, and 11.6 miles of subdivision roads, for a total of just shy of 140 miles, which is almost 10% of the county, at a cost of just about $14 million. So they got a lot of work done so far in 2021. Service requests, you're familiar with the online, where they can go on the website and they can fill out the form and they get a response. Well, in 2020, they handled 1,960 requests for service. In 2021 so far, they've handled 2,320. So you can draw your own conclusion to why there's more. You know, like Chris said, some of those could have just come in last week. So that's why they're still sitting there and why there's so many. They talked about the construction projects, the construction schedules. They met with the townships yesterday to put together their work for next year. He talked about the project development schedule, which is pretty aggressive as they can be. He did talk about winter maintenance because it's coming up, and pointed out the priority. The priorities are the primary roads get first, secondary roads get second, and subdivisions get hit whenever they get time. Right now, he's shorthanded, and he's got 5 positions open where he's hoping to fill those positions that will take care of some of those subdivisions. Because he acknowledges that, some subdivisions don't get for 2 or 3 days. They just don't have the equipment and manpower to get to them. Where he's got 5 people or 5 positions open just specifically for that. And, we've talked a little bit about the equipment, getting rid of old and buying new. Well, he said, we made a little correction to that. We did not get rid of the old because we haven't got the new yet. And if they get rid of the old, don't have the new, they're going to be left with nothing. So he's hoping that they will have enough equipment for those 5 operators to get the snow plowing done this winter. And then he talked about manpower, staffing, and those type of things for snow. There were some suggestions in here about snow plowing, keeping kids away from the road while they're plowing, those type of things. That's good for the public. Any questions on either one of those? We'll have a resolution for you next time. A2112366. This is for $13,154 for the sheriff for Aubrey Hopkins, which provides basic literacy education services for the jail. And if there's anything from the committee members that I may have missed, that's our report.
Very good, thank you. Questions for admin? Okay, Bob, do you want to do PHS?
I would be glad to. Thank you. So we met this morning also, approved our minutes. We approved the resolution for month October Commissioner per diems. And then also approved the monthly pension rollover refund requests. If you remember, this is monies that are basically the individuals who are leaving county employment, their money. And so we approved all of those. We also reviewed and approved an advanced step hire request for the public defender's office. They're making an offer to an individual working in another county public defender office. So it is well within the budget and funding plan from the state of Michigan. We also talked a bit about the amendment that we just approved in our consent calendar amendment to the contract with the state of Michigan for various health department services. And Jill Adams came in and spoke to us about a couple resolutions you'll see next week, or in 2 weeks. One regarding the Clean Sweep pesticide collection program funded by the state of Michigan. And that'll be in the amount of approximately $30,000. And it's pretty much what we've been doing in the prior years. And also it's time to renew our contract with the Historical Association for operation of the Berrien Center Park. And so that we did review that and on her recommendation approved that also. So that, commissioners, I think that covered everything we talked about. I'd be glad to answer any questions that you might have.
Okay, thank you. Madam Finance Chair, you're on.
Thank you. I would like to let you know that our administrator and chair came into the finance committee and we had just minor, different discussions. And then we had a report from our financial services director, Doug James. And this is through October 31 of 2021. It's been a while since we've had this much information, but there is a statement here at the bottom that I'd like to read that will explain quite a few things. It says total revenue, excluding transfers in, are 55 million. Well, how do I do this? 55,708 million. It's up 5.403 million from the prior year. Property taxes increased 3.478 million, primarily due to timing of receipts from local units. Increase in revenue sharing payments withheld in 2020 and marijuana taxes resulted in increase versus prior year of 968,000. And charges for services increased 1.201 million. The clerk 61,000, the register of deeds 390,000, sheriff department 215,000, courts 499,000, restitution receipts offset by distribution included with expenditures. Indirect cost decreased due to timing of recording of child care fund, reimbursement of approximately $130,000. What will happen is we ask, and this may have been on your computer, but you're going to have everything will be sent to you so that you can have the opportunity to look over these 10 months, the amount of money that we've spent. And then we'd like to bring you some information from our, I forgot what you call it. Does it have it on here?
Contingency.
Yeah, from our contingency fund. At the first of the year, we have money for things that may come up that we did not budget for. And this year it was for, in 2021, $1.3 million. And we'd like to let you know we have spent some of it, but we do have a balance of $756,762. And you will receive this also, and you'll see the things that came up that we had to take money for, and that's where it came. Then there were waivers that were requested of us. One was from Prime Coat. It was to repair cracks and floor chips on a floor installed in 2016 at Animal Control. And we agreed to go ahead and do that. And it's $4,500 is the bid. Not the bid, is the waiver amount. And then we have a request for a waiver from Wealthpath. And that's a nursing company that does business with the Marion County Jail. It's contracted out, not in-house. And there is a need for a waiver amount of $224,866. And that is personnel costs to be able to keep this company, because the jail, Marion County, the jail does not want to be our own employer of the nurses and all that work with us. And because people are being picked away and pulled away, we need to keep our department intact to be able to have the 24-hour service that we provide. So we consented to that. Another waiver was for DataWorks Plus. We have, this is for the trial court, and we have line scan plus fingerprinting. And we have a number of those over the county, but it's requiring, coming from the state of Michigan now, that you do a whole palm print. And so we need that kind of machine, and it costs $14,795. And we agreed to go ahead and do that. And so that's our waivers for today. And then we had a bid opening. I'd like to ask Commissioner Freeling if she would please report on that.
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. We did have a bid opening. It was for the road department on guardrails. We sent the invitation to bid to 3 bidders, and 3 responded. They varied from $109,000, with the lowest bid being $86,603 from a company called Action Traffic Maintenance out of Clinton, Michigan. What we did as a committee is sent this back to staff to review it, make sure that it met all of the specifications within that bid package. And then if they opted to go with a different bidder besides the lowest bidder, that they are to come back and give us a report of why they made that decision. But that was the action that we took today. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. That is the end of my report. Are there any questions? Thank you, sir.
Thank you. We'll go to Commissioner.
I do have a brief report. So I was not able to attend our county's planning commission meeting on Tuesday because I was invited to go to a broadband summit up in Traverse City to talk about some of the different things that are ongoing within the state of Michigan, but particularly our work with Merit and Pathfinder. But what I wanted to share was in the planning commission meeting, some of the survey results have rolled out from our master planning and the work that we've been doing with the consultant. And I wanted to make everybody sitting here aware that we're taking the next steps to do outreach to some of the local municipal leaders and community leaders to have conversations of getting more input and feedback for that master plan. And those tentative dates right now are December 1st, December 3rd, and December 6th. What I'll do is I'll speak with Brian and have him sort of help to push that information out to you. And perhaps you can get that information to your local leader so we can have great participation in that. So outside of that, that's my report.
I attended the Human Services Council Zoom meeting, and that got a lot of good input regarding county services from that group. That'd be the end of my report.
Thank you.
I attended a Twin Cats meeting
It was a subcommittee meeting, basically where we got together with our county road department as well as local municipalities of Ben Harbor and City of St. Joseph. And we just planned out our 3 to 5 year plan, what projects are on the docket, and just made sure that those projects don't conflict with the current water line replacement going on in Ben Harbor. So it was a good meeting. As an engineering student, I enjoy being at the table with a bunch of engineers, as well as a county commissioner, being able to see the process of how those projects are planned and what we are going to see in the next few years. That concludes my report.
Quick question, Ray. I received an inquiry earlier in the week. That meeting was that Tuesday or?
Monday.
Monday. So you had different people from the townships and road engineer and a couple commissioners, county commissioners, had received an inquiry about whether that was a meeting, as a meeting is defined under the Open Meetings Act. It is not.
Right.
There was no quorum of any board, any elected body. There was no deliberating towards a decision by anyone. It was a meeting in the generic sense, not a meeting in the statutory sense. So if anyone else received any inquiries about that, that's not a public meeting as defined in the Open Meetings Act. It's not something where the public can appear and ask questions as a matter of statutory right. It would simply be a courtesy if anyone from the public had been included. So just in case anyone else received any inquiries like that, that was my response, not speaking for the board, just speaking as an individual member of the board. So, Jim.
Thank you, Matt. On Tuesday, I attended the FEMA AFR grant. That's the radios, along with Brian and Caitlin. There's a 24,000 shortfall, and we're trying to figure out how best to address that. Also on Tuesday, Commissioner Yarborough and I attended the Meet the Guy Miller, whatever that is. So we sat and yacked with him for a while, get to know him a little bit. Nice kid. And then Tuesday night, I attended the Berrien County Historical Association board meeting where they did approve the contract. And I thought it was great between Brian and Jill and Ree from the Historical Association. I thought it was a good contract. Their board liked the contract. They appreciated everything we did, and we're good for 5 years. That's my report.
Thank you.
I just like Monday, Commissioner Warfel and I attended the same type of meeting with Guy, and I'd like to thank Brian for setting these things up, because I thought it was a great, we sat for a little over an hour, nice meeting with Guy, and a lot of our heads, we see monthly in our, meetings, but they're not really known by everybody, because unless you're in that committee, you don't know them that well. But it's a nice chance to get to know some of these good people and kind of learn where they come from and things. And I thought it was a great idea and well received.
Thanks for coming.
Agree. It was an excellent meeting. We talked more than COVID too. We went beyond that. I put in front of everybody, this is Community Action Agency information. This is Stuff a Truck Week. So this is when they do a big food drive. These are lip balm from the Community Action Agency. So enjoy. They will be at Rogers all week. So you from South County, as you head that way today, feel free to swing by Rogers. They take money, food. If you want to clean out your cabinets and bring it back, they will be at Rogers until noon on Saturday.
How does this thing work?
Okay, so I brought mine out so that you can show you. You twist it, and there's your lip balm.
Oh.
And I think they have these sitting at Rogers. So, so anybody that goes and wants to donate, you can get a lip balm.
No, I would have given it the ball peen hammer.
It's good lip balm too. It is actually, it's really good.
Yes, sir.
I have no report.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to talk about last night, Don and I went to Riverwood and Mental Health Authority. They didn't really talk about much except for we had our Detroit lawyer come in from Detroit, and she went over everything that has to do with security, cyber crime, if we're following the HIPAA rules and everything. And out of all her customers, we are one of the top that she deals with. And we have nothing really bad that ever happens with our Riverwood. So that's a good thing. There's people that are paying millions for all the mistakes that they made. And the number one is hospitals. They goof up a lot. And then she went over the board. We have to do a seminar once a year, and they go over everything that we have to keep quiet and follow the rules. And it was interesting, and that's all I can report.
Okay. Top that one, Ezra.
Well, I received 2 phone calls on road issues in my district. And it was late, so I didn't take a drive out and I didn't call it in to the road department. I went out the next afternoon and the road department had already been there and patched all the holes. No report was needed to be sent to them. Doing a fine job.
Yes.
For a hospital.
Thank you. As Jim said, I forgot what we went to, but we met Guy Miller. And that was very good. And thank you, Brian, for the things that you do. What I want to do is tell you about something, invite you to something. It's the Lake Michigan College Visual and Performing Arts presents Our Side of the River. And it's a play that's been made and put together. The young people in Benton Harbor wrote a book, and it's called Our Side of the River. And I bought this book. I ordered it from Amazon, and now I'm panicking trying to finish reading it before Saturday or whatever. But it may be a page, and it may be 4 paragraphs of students that wrote something. They're in certain categories. Something is called I'm Tired, and they fitted them, within these categories. Some of the students wrote 2 or 3 things. Some are a whole page, so it's not like a story, but it's just their thoughts and whatever, and it's beautiful. And this play is going to be put on Friday at 7:30, Saturday at 7:30, and Sunday at 3, a matinee. Paul Mao is the director, and it's through his department at Lake Michigan College. And this play is in the Hanson Theater, which is a lovely, close place. And I've been told that anyone that wants to go, if you let me know, I can get you tickets for Friday, for Saturday, or for Sunday. And it would be marvelous if you would attend. And somebody in Chicago read this book or saw it and wanted to make it into a play. And so it's a 1-act play. And then I think there'll be conversation and all, but I hope that you all will consider coming. And before I leave today, give me some numbers of what you need, or call me, or whatever. Thank you.
Thank you.
Public comments, anything under the sun in 2 minutes or less. Name and where you're from.
I've been there, so it's getting back to this deal with the road department and their annual meetings. Yesterday I called and asked for, sorry about that, and asked our supervisor for the township if I could watch the meeting. He said, sure. He says, I'm probably not gonna be there. So I said, you got the codes to get into it? He said, no, he was deer hunting. It's kind of strange that they have these meetings during the week of deer season, but that's all right. But then, so I called them in. She said she didn't have it. She transferred me out to the road department, talked to Adrian. She said she would email it to me. She asked me for my email address. I said I had Dave's permission to watch. Then I get a call back from Annette and said that it's not a public meeting. And I said, okay. I said, the road commission used to have those in person in meetings, and anybody could sit in and listen to it if they wanted to. So this is not Annette's issue. I'm not having nothing with Annette on this, okay? But there's a person in this room that was allowed to sit and watch the meeting and is not a township employee, so to speak, if you want to call it that, a board member. He was asked personally to watch the meeting. He was allowed to watch the meeting, but I was not. And as far as I'm concerned, that's wrong. That is public money that's being, so to speak, discussed. And anybody in this room can look at Act 51. Act 51, there are two types of roads. Your primary roads and your local roads. There is not subdivision roads.
2 minutes, sir.
Normally wouldn't ask, but I have a question. This person in the room, were they physically at the meeting?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I mean, they were physically in a building where the meeting was on the screen.
Okay. All right. Had no clue who called, just simply was asked if it was an open meeting under the Open Meetings Act, and I said, no, it is not.
I'm not contesting that. What I'm saying is, there's too much stuff being done where the public does not have access.
Well, that's another story. I'm not aware of that, but I appreciate your comments nonetheless. Mr. Peltzer, you look like you're getting ready to come forward, so please do.
You guys ready?
Yeah, we're ready.
No, I got a suggestion. You know, you come in here, take roll. I don't know why, you got a seating chart, right? Why does everybody have to answer? You know, why do you have to call your names? So people here that are here, they want to know who you are. You got a name tag in front of you too. No, not teaching school.
Are you Bainbridge Township? Is that where you're from?
Oh, no, I'm from
Hager, okay, sorry.
great state of Hager.
Just wanted to have that for the
I'm sorry, Peltzer.
record. Please, go ahead.
Okay, now, last time I was complaining about that sign out there. And I asked you, about coming up with something. I'd like to know who put it up there, what the reasons were to put it, that it was put up there. You know, there are about 154,000 people in our county. There are only about 30 people working in the building here. They got real nice restrooms, right? We come in here, during the day, we don't all come in here. During the day, about 50, 60 people coming in. And you want them to use that ugly toilet over there. It's only got one stool in there. I told that before. And they got one sink. And the other one's got 2 urinals, 2 sinks. Now, you do not have a right to deny the public the use of those toilets. Those are public toilets. What I want to see is a resolution, maybe I'm overstepping my bounds, stating the reason why the public is denied access to those 2 toilets. And then bring it up here. Now, I can't write it because I didn't put up the sign. So next week, or 2 weeks from now, and I want to see something. Of course, I'm from the public, right? You guys don't give a hoot about us. Now, we ask you to do something. You don't care. We don't count. The only time we count is when we vote, when we have an election, right? All the other times, you're supposed to be here. You're supposed to be serving us. No, the 10 of us here.
2 minutes, sir.
No, you're public servants, right?
We do care about you, but your time is up, though. Thank you.
Now, next week, I want to see somebody coming up with a resolution. And you guys stick your neck out for that, too. The public needs to know that.
All righty. Thank you. Anyone else wish to be heard? Name and where you're from, sir.
Michael Albert Hoy, City of Benton Harbor, 292 Bellevue. Everybody have a blessed Thanksgiving. Remember your loved ones, those who who've passed and those that are with us, and don't forget their lovely animals. Have a blessed Thanksgiving, everybody.
Thank you. You as well.
Thank you.
Administrator, I forgot to ask if you had anything to report.
Just a quick update. Back in June of 21, the board briefly discussed short-term rentals. At that time, there was movement through the Michigan House on House Bill 4722. At that time, I put a letter together and sent to Senator Lasada, Representative Wenzel, Representative Paquette. In the last couple of weeks, there's been renewed movement on that House bill. The Planning Commission this week, as a group, expressed opposition to the bill. The bill essentially would allow for fewer local controls on short-term rental properties and could potentially pave the way for greater numbers of short-term rental properties across the state, across the county. I've spoken with the staff at Senator Losada's office. They're keenly aware of opposition from the county on this House bill. Moreover, it does not appear to have a ton of momentum as it makes its way through the legislature and eventually to the governor's office. With that said, if this group would like me to dust off the letter from June and reissue it on your behalf, I'm happy to do that. It's completely up to this group, but I've made it a point to just stay in touch with Dan Carrick at Senator Losada's office, just saying, hey, there's been quite a bit of opposition from the local units within the county. Our planning commission has made real clear they don't want to see it. So to this group, if you feel like we need to resend the letter, we can certainly do that. But we've already sent the letter and made clear to the members of the legislature that this doesn't seem like a great idea. Mr. Chair, to the board, if I could get a little direction, it would be greatly appreciated.
John?
I don't think we need to resend. I think you're fine with it. I think what you've done is adequate, and I understand both sides of this issue.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's important to have. We want to showcase. We talked about tourism. We want to showcase it, and yet the difference between local control and control from further away. There's got to be some kind of a match where you don't totally shut this kind of a thing out, but you do control it. So I think at this point in time, we've expressed what we want to do, and I don't think we need to go any further with it. My thoughts.
Send out easy links where you can send your comments to our representatives yourself. So very easily within a minute, and let them know your feelings about it without doing a whole group thing.
Has anyone talked with Pauline Wenzel, find out why she supported it? I mean, Brad Paquette voted against it. I think we kind of jumped him when he was initially supportive of it when it was in committee, and he changed course. I hear what you're saying, John, about promoting tourism. In 2018, the Michigan Supreme Court came down with a decision because I think there was some conflict in the Michigan courts of appeals at that time. Sometimes you have one appellate court for one part of the state that comes up with something, a different part. I think there's 3 appellate court districts in the state. Don't quote me, I could be wrong. I think it's 3. Anyhow, the Supremes resolved it, and they laid down some markers, like you'd have to do at least 5 consecutive nights. You have limits based on square footage, based on the number of bathrooms, based on how many places you can park without parking on the grass or out in the street. All kinds of things that were sensitive to how this impacts your neighbors. And so often your neighbors have invested in a home on a lake or a stream or something like that, and they've invested in having the quiet enjoyment of their property. I've litigated some of this in a nearby county, and we had one situation where there were upwards of 16 or 18 people being put in a house for a Notre Dame football weekend. This was on a private road, a 2-lane road. You can imagine how much fun that was for the neighbors as these folks came lumbering back in from wherever they'd been and continued the merriment. So it's, the balance is the right term, because the reason we have local zoning is because local bodies are right there, get input from the people who live in that township, and can tailor things accordingly. So I would say, I would recommend we keep a close eye on it. And I would also suggest that the work of our planning commission is greatly appreciated, but that our planning commission, being an advisory body, should make a recommendation to this board as the elected board for the county, and then we would either authorize them to send something out on the planning commission letterhead, or would put it on our letterhead and note the planning commission's position, sort of similar to what we do when the Board of Health endorses a resolution and sends it over. It doesn't have legal effect until we approve it. And just because we have numerous advisory boards that serve, and they're not doing it for the money, I know that, but just suggesting that we make it clear that there is a certain protocol that is there for a good reason. My thoughts. Anybody have anything? Terry, did you?
With regards to your comments for the planning commission, as I serve as that liaison from this board, I will make that point to sort of have that conversation at our next planning commission meeting. I know that I had brought it to your attention when I became aware of it. As I stated in my update, I was not there at that meeting, and I too feel the same way. But with regards to this particular subject matter for short-term rental, I agree. Let's keep a watchful eye on it, and allow those bodies that are best suited to make those decisions for those local units of government, that they be able to do what they've been appointed to do. Thank you.
Very good. Anyone have anything else to add? Any other business?
No, sir.
We're not here next week, as you know. We're going to be going into closed session on pending litigation, and then also to discuss matters involving communications under the attorney-client privilege, both of which are provided for under the Open Meetings Act. We will not be doing anything once we finish those briefings other than adjourning. So, right, we'll approve the minutes from the last closed session. Other than that, there won't be any other business. So with that, I think we can do it in one motion. If someone wants to move to adjourn this meeting and go into closed session to get a litigation update on Raffaelli versus Oakland County et al., including us, and on federal work rules labor update, that would be the subject. Moved by Scott, supported by Volrath. Madam Clerk, did you get the details?
Yes.
Will you please call the roll?
Freeling.
Yes.
Harrison.
Yes.
Hinkleman.
Yes.
Najarian.
Yes.
Meeks.
Yes.
Scott.
Yes.
Walrath.
Yes.
Werfel. Yes. Yarborough.
Yes.
Bell.
Yes.
Curran.
Yes.
Elliott.
Yes.
Mr. Chair, you have 12 yeas.
All right, we're in closed session. I understand we're going to need some time to get into Zoom.